We're back here checking on queen acceptance today. The latest nukes are going to be 3 weeks out, and some of them are 3.5, and some of them are 4 weeks. The 4 weekers we already went through and checked for queens and marked the ones we found. We were looking at about an 85% acceptance rate there, which is pretty decent, but we're hoping to find more today. It's a very straightforward process. Just open the box, check for the queen, and if you find her, great, mark her. If not, then the box gets given to a nuke that has a queen in it. Alright, so here's two that we made up that we haven't gone into yet. We're going to see how they went. So we'll take the inner cover off. Let me give a look at this one first. The nukes tend to be a little bit more gentle with you, so you can get away with a lot. Tend to be very gentle. Still have a decent population of bees in here, probably a success. We'll take and look at the queen cell. We can pull that out and look in the bottom of it there and see whether or not she hatched. We found a couple where they hadn't hatched, that wasn't open there. So this one is certainly a success. She at least emerged. Whether or not it's open there. Whether or not she made it back from her mating flight is the question. Right. Now one of the main cues that you get right away when you open them is the sound of the hive, which these are very quiet, which is a good sound. Queenless bees tend to hum loudly. So they're drawing this frame, or maybe it was drawn already. I don't see any signs of eggs in it though. I have capped brood, so there's a queen in here. And eggs puppies on this side. So there's the queen. So she got laid very early. I mean, this is 3.5 weeks back that we put these in. She's a little stumpy, but not bad. So now that we have her, we'll mark her to make her jobs easier next year. So Sean's gonna hold that. I get my paint mark ready. Be very gentle with her and hold her over the colonies. If you drop her, she winds up back home, not in the tall grass. And then I'm just going to try to grab her by her wings. You can use queen catchers and queen marking setups. They do work, they just take a long time, and we've got a lot of queens to get through. And Derek is very good at this. So I get her off the frame however I can. Then I go around and hold her thorax gently. And you can grab her wings. They're like a handle there. Grab and hold on to them. Now she's not going anywhere while you mark her. I'm getting the box ready while he's doing that. That way we can drop her right back in. Take that paint. Get a dot on her. Blow on her a bit to dry. And into the hole in the inner cover. Done. Next one we go to. Plenty of bees. Sound quiet. Quiet. Pull the cell. Check the inner cover for the queen. Very important step. Cell is hatched. Particularly in these small colonies, you really need to check that. Several times we've been going through these and found the queen just chilling there on the inner cover, which is a problem if you accidentally shake her off of the grass. So this colony isn't quite as strong. They haven't started working their blank yet, but they sound good. That can be a bit deceiving though. I got eggs. So there's a queen in here. Now it's just a matter of finding her, because we prefer to mark her. Eggs doesn't necessarily mean queen. You need to, because it can be a laying worker colony. We have found one nuke that transitioned to laying worker. Here she is. This nuke isn't quite as strong, but they should build up just fine. They've got plenty of comb. They got a laying queen. Show the camera. I think I'm in frame. I get my mark ready. It helps to grab her the first time, because if you miss her the first time, off to the races. You gotta be confident about it. So now I have that queen too. When I have her by the wings, she can't get on to pull anything. I just have I'm in no rush anymore. Take the paint, roll it onto her, mark that thorax. I cut my hand under just in case she were to drop. And if you do drop a queen, freeze. Yeah, don't move. And make sure you put her back in the right colony. Done. 2 successes. Next.
So I don't want the paint to dry out while we're working on finding a queen. So I'm waiting until we find it, and then while Sean gets the rest of the colony ready, I'm coming over and getting my paint marker ready. What I'm using here is a piece of Timothy hay that I chopped off and some Testors model paint. We used the paint pens last year, and they're just a pain compared to this. This is super easy once you get the hang of it.
Right straw.
Right. You don't want to, if you're trying to find a piece of grass to use, make sure it's not hollow. If it's hollow, you're going to have issues. You're going to get way too much paint. But I'm just dipping it in. That little dot there is too much paint. I'm just wiping that on the edge. Get to like a half a drop or so. That's about the right amount. And I'll lean that over like so, and I'll bring the queen over and mark her. So here's a queen we just caught, holding her by her wings. Take that paint. I go from the side. That's working better, so I don't get it on her antenna if I come from the front. Dot that on. You can use the grass to move around. You can get a nice dot on her like that. Blow for a few seconds so it's a little bit dry. And now she's ready to go back in.
We just got done going through these two, and they are both failures. They've transitioned over to being laying workers because this is a 3.5 weeks on this one since we put the queen cells in. So in theory we could drop queen cells in and give it a go, but we don't have any on hand, and these are just very small colonies, and again they are laying workers. So what we are simply going to do is we're going to use the comb, and we're going to make use of the bees. And some of our nukes from the first round are actually ready to have seconds dropped underneath them. So we're simply going to take these boxes and slide them underneath our other nukes, and the established laying queen in that box will take over this, and the nuke will continue to grow nicely. We went into these earlier to identify which boxes needed more space given to them, or which colonies needed more space given to them. That's why the lid was flipped upside down, that way we could easily tell which ones it was. But yeah, because it's all drawn comb down there, it's going to be a huge boost to this colony. It's going to actually make use of it. And should knock that. I can do it too with my knee. Yep. Drop that on underneath this colony. Square those frames up a little. Yep. Drop this on. Done. And the brood pheromones and the queen pheromones will suppress the laying workers in that colony, and everything should be good to go. Quick and easy. I mean, it's unfortunate that we lost these nukes, but we can still make use of the bees. Making the best of a bad situation. Done. We just wanted to show you what these little colonies can do. So this is a 3.5 week old colony. You saw what they look like when we get put. Well, I guess this is going on a different video, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you want to see that, you can go back and look at our nuke production video as to how we make these.
Split video.
Our split video, correct.
Yeah, this is 3.5 weeks later.
Queen has already mated and been laying for at least a week. Judging by the...
So that's the edge frame. That would have been a blank when we put it in. Nothing in it at all. Completely drawn, capped brood in it now.
Did not take them long at all to do that.
This was frame 2. Cap brood all through it. Eggs and whatever isn't larva.
Frame 3. Brand spanking new queen. She's actually on this frame here.
They're too high for me to see.
No.
Oh, look at that laying pattern.
That is...
What? Both sides.
She's right there in the middle. The frame next door is honey stores. So it would have been the honey stores that we gave them. But this... Yeah.
So that's why we make these things. I mean, you get so many beautiful young queens ready to go into winter to make a huge crop for us next year. And all that it sacrificed was unproductive colonies this year.
And hardly even sacrificed, because most of those unproductive colonies are already up in 2 deeps already. They're just starting to work the second deep, but they've got 12 frames of bees right now. 12 frames of comb and bees. It's crazy what they do. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful little colonies.